The moment that gangway door opens, most passengers head straight to the buffet, grab a drink, and start taking selfies by the pool. And honestly, that's exactly why they'll spend the next 7 nights fighting broken AC, missing sold-out shows, overpaying for excursions, and wondering why their cabins smell strange. The passengers who have the best cruises aren't lucky, they're smart. And it all starts in the first 60 minutes. Number 1. Open the balcony door briefly to air out the cabin. Here's something the cruise line will never put in their welcome brochure. Your cabin has been sealed shut for hours, possibly days, between sailings. Housekeeping cleans it, yes, but fresh air? Now that's not part of the turnover checklist. What builds up in that sealed space is a cocktail of cleaning product residue, recycled air from ventilation systems, and the faint but unmistakable odor of whoever was in that cabin before you. Smart cruisers know that the first thing you do when you walk through the cabin door isn't drop your bags or test the bed. It's walk straight to the balcony, slide that door open, and let the ocean air do what no amount of air fresheners can replicate. Give it 5 to 10 minutes. You don't need to stand there. Go ahead and start unpacking. But let the salt air move through the space, push out the stale recycled atmosphere, and set the sensory tone for your entire trip. Now this matters more than people realize. Your cabin is where you'll sleep, decompress, and spend a significant portion of your cruise. Starting that relationship with fresh sea air rather than chemical undertones is a small act that pays dividends every single night. If you don't have a balcony, crack the door to the corridor briefly and run the bathroom exhaust fan on full. It's not perfect, but it helps. Balcony passengers have a genuine advantage here, and the smart ones use it within the first 5 minutes of stepping on board. Number 2. Test every light, outlet, and USB port. You'd be surprised how many passengers discover on day 3 that their bedside USB port doesn't work, or that the reading light above the left side of the bed has a blown bulb, or that the outlet near the vanity is completely dead. By that point, getting maintenance to respond takes hours, and the motivation to report it has faded into cruise mode acceptance. Smart passengers do a complete electrical audit of the cabin within the first 15 minutes. Every light switch, every outlet, every USB port. Plug in a charger and confirm it draws power. Switch on every lamp. Run your hand along the wall controls and confirm each one does what it's supposed to do. This takes less than 3 minutes and immediately tells you what's broken before you've invested emotionally in ignoring it. Report anything that isn't working to guest services or your cabin steward right away, while you're still fresh off the gangway and the maintenance team is between their boarding rush duties. Issues reported in the first hour get resolved in the first hour. Issues reported on day 4 get resolved on day 6, if you're lucky. Number 3. Introduce yourself to your cabin steward by name. Your cabin steward is one of the most important people on the entire ship, and the majority of passengers treat them like furniture. They learn the steward's name eventually, maybe, or they just refer to them as the cleaning person. Smart cruisers handle this completely differently. Find your steward. They're almost always working the corridor during embarkation. Introduce yourself, shake their hand, and learn their name. Ask them directly, what's the best way to reach you if I need something? And what time do you prefer to service the cabin? Are there any preferences I should know about? This 2-minute conversation transforms your entire service experience for the week. Stewards carry dozens of cabins simultaneously. The passengers who treat them with genuine respect and take the time to establish a human connection are the passengers who get extra towel animals, faster turnaround, and the kind of small personalized touches that make a cabin feel like it was serviced by someone who actually cares. Because when you treat someone like they matter, they do care. It's that simple, and it costs you nothing but 2 minutes of genuine attention. Number 4. Locate every emergency exit on your deck. Most passengers treat the muster drill as an inconvenience to be endured and immediately forgotten. Smart passengers treat it as genuinely useful information, and then they go one step further. After the drill or immediately upon boarding, they walk their deck and physically locate every emergency exit, every life jacket station, and every stairwell that isn't the one directly outside their cabin. Ships are disorienting environments. The corridors look identical in every direction. In a genuine emergency, a fire, a rapid listing event, a loss of power, the last thing you want is to be the person frozen in a T-junction trying to remember which way the exit was. Walk the route, count the doors, note the stairwell at both ends of the corridor. Take 30 seconds to find where the life jackets are stored outside your cabin versus inside. Now, this isn't about paranoia. It's about the same preparation a smart traveler does in any hotel. Except on a ship, the stakes and the disorientation level are both significantly higher. The passengers who stay calm in emergencies are almost always the ones who already know where they're going. Number 5. Check and adjust the safe immediately. Cruise cabin safes are notorious for two problems. They're either still set to a previous passenger's code, or they malfunction just when you need them most. Smart passengers test the safe within the first 10 minutes of boarding, before they have anything valuable to put in it. Open it, close it, set a code, confirm the code works, open it again. Do this before you've placed a single passport or credit card inside. If it malfunctions, call maintenance right now. Not tonight when you're trying to secure your valuables before dinner. Also, take 30 seconds to consider what you're actually planning to store in there. Passports, extra cash, a backup credit card, perhaps a spare phone. Have a system in mind so that when you need the safe at 11 p.m. after a long embarkation day, you're not fumbling with instructions you've never read. Some experienced cruisers also bring a small cable lock as a backup travel security measure. But even without that, a functional safe that you've tested personally is the bare minimum of smart preparation. Number 6. Turn off all cabin lights and reset them intentionally. This is one of the most underrated moves a smart cruiser makes, and almost nobody does it. Walk into your cabin after the steward has set it up for boarding, and what do you find? Every light blazing at full intensity. The bathroom lit like an operating theater, and the general ambiance of a fluorescent office cubicle. The cruise line sets everything to maximum brightness as a default, and most passengers just accept that and live with it for 7 days. Don't! Turn everything off completely. Stand in the dark for a moment and reset your intention for the space. Then, light by light, turn on what you actually want and dial the dimmers, if available, to the level that feels right for you. Bedside lamps at a warm, low setting. Main overhead off or very low for evenings. Bathroom on a gentler setting if possible. Create a lighting environment that feels like a relaxing retreat rather than a retail store. This matters because lighting profoundly affects how a space feels, how easily you fall asleep, and how much you genuinely decompress during sea days. Passengers who spend a week in harsh overhead lighting often return home feeling like they never quite relaxed. The ones who reset their cabin lighting intentionally on day one sleep better, feel calmer, and experience the space as genuine restorative. It takes 4 minutes. Do it before you unpack a single thing. Number 7. Memorize your muster station and ship layout before exploring. Before you head up to the pool deck, before you find the bar, before you do anything fun, spend 10 minutes with the ship map. Most cabins have one inside the door or in the welcome packet. Study it with intention. Find your muster station. Locate the main dining room, the specialty restaurants, the spa, the theater, and the medical center. Identify which elevator banks serve which sections of the ship. This investment pays back immediately and throughout the trip. Passengers who understand the ship's layout navigate with confidence and efficiency. They never waste 20 minutes searching for the restaurant they booked, never miss a show because they couldn't find a theater, and never end up at the wrong end of a 1,000-foot vessel wondering where the aft elevators are. The ship map also tells you something important about crowd flow. The forward elevators are almost always less crowded than the midship ones. The aft stairwell moves faster during peak dining hours. Knowing this on day 1 means you're moving efficiently from day 1, not day 5 after you've learned it the hard way. Now, if you're finding this useful, give a like, And hit subscribe right now because we regularly publish cruise strategy content that will make your next voyage significantly better than your last. Number 8. Book shore excursions and specialty dining immediately. The single biggest mistake new cruisers make is assuming that popular excursions and specialty restaurants will be available whenever they get around to booking them. They won't be. The most sought-after shore excursions, the swim with dolphins in Cozumel, the glacier hike in Alaska, the private beach club in Nassau, fill within hours of boarding, sometimes within 30 minutes. Smart passengers have already researched their ports before leaving home, but they confirm and book the moment they're connected to the ship's Wi-Fi or app. Don't wait until after lunch. Don't wait until you've unpacked. Pull out your phone, open the cruise line app, and lock in your reservations before you do anything else. The same applies for specialty dining, the premium steakhouse, the sushi bar, the chef's table experience. These have limited covers and they go fast. Now, if you miss the pre-cruise booking window, embarkation day is your recovery opportunity. Use it. Number 9. Set up the cruise line app and connect to ship Wi-Fi. Nearly every major cruise line now operates primarily through a mobile app for everything from restaurant reservations to daily activity schedules to onboard messaging. Smart passengers download the app before they leave home, but they activate it and fully configure it the moment they board. Connect to the ship's Wi-Fi, often free for the ship's internal network even without a paid internet package, and explore every section of the app. Set up your dining preferences. Review the daily schedule for the full cruise if it's already populated. Add shipboard activities to your personal calendar, and confirm that any pre-booked reservations are showing correctly. This 15-minute setup session means you're operating with full information for the entire cruise while other passengers are still figuring out how to find the daily program. The app also handles onboard messaging on most lines, which means you can stay in contact with travel companions across a massive ship without paying for cell service or hunting through corridors. Number 10. Inspect the cabin thoroughly and document any existing damage. Before you unpack, before you move anything, do a brief but thorough inspection of your cabin and document what you find. Check the bedding for stains. Look at the carpet near the bathroom. Examine the furniture for pre-existing damage. Check the walls near the beds. Now, this isn't cynical. It's the same thing smart travelers do in any hotel room. If you find anything concerning, photograph it with your phone immediately and report it to guest services or your steward. The reason is simple. You don't want to be held responsible for damages you didn't cause when checkout comes around. Ships process thousands of passengers every week. Documentation protects you. And while you're at it, check that the bedding setup matches what you requested. Twin configuration versus king, for example. Because changing this after the fact is possible, but far easier to address on boarding day than on night 3 when you discover the beds aren't actually pushed together the way you wanted. Number 11. Locate the medical center and note its hours. Nobody books a cruise hoping to visit the ship's medical center. But if you need it, and on a ship full of passengers from all over the world, medical needs can arise unexpectedly, knowing exactly where it is and when it's open is critical information. Smart passengers locate the medical center on the ship map and make a mental note of its position relative to their cabin. More importantly, they find out the hours. Ship medical centers are not always open 24 hours. Many operate on a scheduled basis with on-call emergency protocols outside those hours. Now, knowing this before you need it means you're not panicking and searching a 15-deck vessel while someone in your party is unwell. If anyone in your travel group has a pre-existing medical condition, introduce yourself to the medical staff on embarkation day. This takes 5 minutes and ensures that if anything arises during the voyage, the team already has your baseline information. Number 12. Visit guest services before the lines form. Here's a window of opportunity that closes within the first 2 hours of boarding. Guest services with no line. Now, once the ship is fully loaded and passengers start running into problems, wrong cabin assignments, billing setup issues, loyalty points not appearing, dining reservations showing incorrectly, That guest services desk becomes a 40-minute wait. Smart passengers go immediately after completing their cabin setup. Even if you have no urgent issues, this is the time to confirm that your onboard account is linked correctly, verify that loyalty benefits or promotions have been applied, and flag any pre-arrival requests that may not have been actioned. Ask about any ship-specific programs, quieter alternative venues, or upgrades that may be available. The staff at guest services during embarkation are far less rushed than they'll be for the rest of the cruise, and a calm 2-minute interaction now can solve what would otherwise become a stressful 30-minute queue on day 2. Number 13. Unpack completely and stow your luggage. This one sounds obvious, but the number of passengers who live out of their suitcases for an entire 7-day cruise is genuinely astonishing. They trip over bags every time they move through the cabin, spend half the trip hunting for items buried under clothes, and never quite feel settled in the space. Smart cruisers unpack completely on embarkation day. Every item goes into a drawer or wardrobe. Toiletries go in the bathroom. Books and devices find their spots. And then, critically, the empty suitcases go under the bed or into the overhead storage area where they disappear from daily life entirely. The cabin immediately doubles in effective living space. The entire psychological experience of the cruise shifts from temporary camping to I actually live here for the week. This also forces you to assess your packing. Identify anything you've forgotten that can be purchased on board or at the first port, and set up systems. Where the sunscreen goes, where the pool bag lives. That will save you minutes every single morning for the rest of the voyage. Number 14. Set expectations and intentions for the entire voyage. The final thing smart cruise passengers do immediately after boarding is perhaps the least tangible, but possibly the most powerful. They pause, look at the water, and deliberately set their intentions for the trip. This isn't a wellness cliche. It's a practical strategy that the best travelers in the world use consistently. Decide now. Are you disconnecting from work entirely or checking in at specific times only? Are you committing to trying one new thing every day? Are you prioritizing rest or adventure or quality time with the person you came with? Are you setting a budget ceiling for onboard spending and committing to it? These aren't decisions you want to make reactively, in the moment, under the influence of embarkation excitement and a complimentary welcome cocktail. Passengers who board with clear personal intentions navigate the relentless buffet of options. The spa, the casino, the specialty dining, the shore excursions, the unlimited drink package temptations, with clarity rather than chaos. They return home feeling like the trip was exactly what they needed, rather than a vaguely enjoyable blur that somehow costs twice what they planned. The ocean isn't going anywhere. You have a week. Decide what kind of week it's going to be, and then go have exactly that. The difference between a great cruise and an average one almost never comes down to which ship you're on or which itinerary you chose. It comes down to the first 60 minutes after you board. Run through these 14 moves. Get the setup right and everything that follows. Every port, every dinner, every sunset from that balcony lands the way it was always supposed to. Now go enjoy the ship. Your voyage is just beginning.